Back when Ford was in India, they casually decided to wagon a 3.2-liter turbo diesel in their Endeavour. And quite luckily, I have one of those right here. So I'm going to review it today. Before we get on to the review, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel because it's going to be really helpful to us and you guys will stay notified whenever we make a new upload. Anyways, this is the Endeavour 3.2 review. I'm Shyam Anand and you're watching Hyper Automobiles. From the front, the Endeavour looks absolutely undisputed with a huge Ford badge in the center surrounded by the massive main chrome grille. The well-shaped bonnet along with the silver finished bumper in the front really gave out how rugged the car looks. And this massive main grille connects the headlamps which comprise of one projector headlamp and a DRL, beneath which you get fog lamps. Moving on to the side, you instantly notice the 3.26 auto badging which signifies of course the 3.2-liter engine along with a 6-speed torque converter automatic gearbox. You also get chrome door mirror caps along with chrome door handles, and I must say that these flared wheel arches both in the front and in the back really go well with the car's looks. Now coming to the wheels of the car, I must say that these alloys from Ford look really very interesting and smart too on the Endeavour. The tire size you get as standard is 265/60 R18s. And as for braking, when you have a 3.2-liter engine pulling a 2.4-ton car, you obviously get all 4 disc brakes. Moving on to the rear of the car, you notice the integrated rear spoiler that houses the brake lights and a rear wiper that sits on a rather large rear windshield. In the center though, you have a chrome plate that has the name Endeavour embossed on it and which connects both the LED tail lamps. And finally, just like in the front, you have your rear bumper along with the reflectors finished in silver. So I think that the design of the Ford Endeavour is not in your face, but at the same time it has tons of road presence. Now let's get on to the interior of the car. Now moving on to the interior of the Ford Endeavour, I must say that the layout of the dash is really very clean and simple. It doesn't bore your eye. There is also a generous amount of soft touch materials used inside the cabin. The infotainment system is fairly responsive and supports both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Now coming to the instrument cluster, you get an analog speedometer accompanied by 2 digital screens on either side of it. Although amidst the whole simple looking dash, you get fairly basic climate controls according to me. I mean, I'm happy that they're controlled via physical toggles and buttons that makes it way easier. But at the same time, I think that the design for the climate controls could have been better. Coming to the practicality in the front, you have a wide opening glove box which is very deep too, so you can store a lot of things inside it. And the door bins itself, as you can see, they can hold 1-liter water bottles with absolute ease. Under the climate controls, we get two 12-volt sockets, two USB ports, and some more storage down below. You get 2 more cup holders just in front of the center foldable armrest, which has more space. You also have a vanity mirror for the front passenger and the driver too. You also get a sunglass holder and of course a huge panoramic sunroof. Getting in and out of the second row of the seats is not very hard, to be honest. I'm about 5'8" in height, and as you can see I have quite a good amount of headroom. I have loads of knee room and loads of leg room too. What is odd though for an SUV is the huge hump in the floor for the rear passengers. This means that my legroom has been compromised a lot, while my knee room is pretty good and my headroom, as you can see, is not compromised a lot. But overall, you can carry 3 people in the middle row comfortably. As for practicality, in the middle row of seats, you have very well sized seat pockets, you have air vents with 2 reading lights, climate controls for the rear passengers, a 12-volt socket, and finally a center foldable armrest with 2 cup holders. Row of seats of the Ford Endeavour, as you can see, my headroom is not that great, my knee room is not that great too, and I'm sitting knees up. So I would say that these seats are best suited for very young children. Although for practicality, you do get hooks on the roof. You get 2 air vents for the third row of seats and a single reading light. You also get an armrest with a cup holder for each passenger, which is quite nice. Now coming to the boot of the car, you can see that the load lip is very low, so it's very easy to load things in and slide them over to the front of the car. as the seats fold down fairly flat. With the third row of seats folded, you get around 430 liters of boot space, and with the second row folded too, you get over 2000 liters of boot space. The third row of seats can be folded using buttons over here. You also get a 12-volt socket for the boot. When you open the bonnet of the car, you are presented with a huge engine bay, and it's huge because well, it really is. You can see tons of insulation to cool this monster of an engine. So this engine right here is a massive 3.2 liter turbocharged inline 5 diesel engine that when stock produces 200 horsepower and 470 newton meters of torque. However, though, this car has an aftermarket BMC air filter and a HKS exhaust, and along with its stage 1 ECU remap, which enable it to output around 250 horsepower and close to a mega 600 newton meters of torque. And believe me, that is crazy. Now, let's have a quick chat with the owner of the Endeavour, Mr. Krish. So, Krish, what do you think about your Endeavours now that you've had it for around 5 years?
It's a great car. It's done whatever I've asked of it, whether it be highway cruising, whether it be going off the road, fording water. It's done everything. Never had a problem at all, never had even a moment's hesitation to just take the car out in the best and the worst of weather, roads, you name it. Definitely a car which will not go from my garage anytime soon.
That's great. Now, let's get on with the final verdict of the car. Coming to the final verdict of the car, it would have been good to have adaptive cruise control, a proximity sensor, ventilated seats, and some more features. And also, quite unsurprisingly, a 3.2 liter engine with a 6-speed torque converter powering a close to 2.4 ton car takes a toll on fuel efficiency. However, though, it does make up for the negative points with mainly the mega 3.2 liter turbocharged inline 5 engine with class-leading power output. Also, you see these silver finished front and rear bumpers. Don't mistake them for an easygoing car. This is one hell of an off-roader with its terrain management system that has 4 modes, namely sand, mud, rock, and snow. This is what we think about the Ford Endeavour 3.2. Let us know what you think about the car in the comments below, and as always, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel because you will receive a notification whenever we make a new upload. Thank you all so much for watching. See you next week. Goodbye.